What's up, everybody? This is Ryan Williams. Thanks for tuning back in with me at TLG Network. Today, I'm going to teach you guys how to do stop motion with Legos. Now, if you're going to make stop motion with Legos, you're going to need a few things. First, you're going to need a camera. You're also going to need a light. And you're also going to need a lens that can get a good enough zoom on this subject. You're going to need a tripod, memory card, and you're going to need Legos. Oh man, I forgot the Legos. Let me order some real quick. Now that we placed our order, let's wait. What was that? Yes, my Legos are here. Oh, it took a long time. So, let me reiterate. What you're going to need is, you're going to need a camera, obviously. You're going to need a good zoom lens, that way you can get close up on your subject. In this case, Legos being the subject. You need a tripod. You also need a light, and like I said, you need your camera. But you definitely need Legos, and you're going to need a table or something to sit your Legos on. Before you begin, you need to set your camera. Make sure your settings are correct. So you're going to want to go to your menu. From your menu, you go to your time-lapse option. From here, you're going to want to enable it. I like to do 4K to make sure it's the best and clearest video possible. Here, you want to let yourself know how long it's going to take in between shots before you take your next shot. So if it's going to take you a long time to position the Legos, you may want to increase this number. So I have it on 10-second intervals. It's going to do 10 shots. Now if you want to change your intervals, you just go ahead and click in here and you can make it. If you know it's not going to take you that long, you can drop it down to 2 seconds. So every shot's going to happen every 2 seconds. But like I said, I tend to like to take a little bit of time to move my pieces. So I'm going to keep it at 10 seconds. That's a little safe. A number of shots. This is the number of shots the camera is going to take. Sometimes it can cut off in between and you have to start it back over. But I put it at 200 shots. That should get me a pretty decent amount of motion. You don't always have to use that, but I like to keep it at that amount. That way, if I ever walk away from something, I need to take a picture of it, it'll keep on taking a picture of it. And then you can change the exposure to each frame and a couple other different things. You can make it to where the beep doesn't make the sound. I usually keep the beep on, that way I know that it's still working. So once you have that all on, you can go ahead and start your time lapse. You hit OK. You set your settings until you got the right setting for your Legos to where you can actually see what's going on. And you can take a picture first and make sure it's got the right thing. Once you've gotten that, then you can go ahead and hit OK. Then you're going to go ahead and hit your start and stop button. Once you hit the start and stop button, it'll give you the option to start recording. So then you go ahead and hit the record button, which is in the front of the camera most times. And what you're going to see is every time every time you hear a beep, you're going to see that it takes the picture. Once you have your camera settings and everything set in the right position, go ahead and every time the camera takes a picture, move the Legos ever so slightly until you get every scene that you want. So first what you're going to want to do is go ahead and get into Adobe. So once you're in Adobe, you're going to want to go ahead and start a new project. Always start a new project when you're making a new project. So I'm going to title this Lego Blob. You can title it anything you want. I'm just going to title it Lego Blob just to make it simple. So go ahead, get your whole scene ready. So once you have this scene open, this is pretty standard for people who have already used Adobe, but for most people, this is where your video is going to show up. This is your timeline, and this is where you're going to put all your footage, your raw footage that you want to add. So what you're going to do is go up here to File, drop on down to Import, and you want to go ahead and find those files. I tend to keep mine on the desktop, that way it's pretty easy to find. So come on down here to our footage, open that. Once you open that, it's going to import it into the project file. Grab it over here and drag it to your timeline. And once it's in your timeline, you can go ahead and play it. Make sure it's running back the way you want it to run. Now as you see, it's going pretty fast, and I don't want it to go that fast because you really can't tell what's going on. So what you want to do to stop that, the way it flows a little natural, you're going to go ahead and right click, drop on down here to where it says speed duration. Take your speed duration, and here's where you can really play with it. You can make things go backwards, but I tend to usually use this to make it go fast or slow. So, and you can play around with the numbers. I'm going to start it off at 75 and see what that gives me. So when you hit 75, see, it slows it down a little bit. Still going a little fast for my taste, so, and like I said, it's your preference for what you want and how smooth and fluid you want it to move. So I'm gonna go ahead and slow it down a little bit more. I tend to like 50, sometimes I like 25. Let's see what 50 does. See if it actually slows down enough for us to understand what's really going on. So go ahead back to the beginning, hit play, and it's starting to look a little better. So we're going to go ahead and slow it down one more time. And again, this is the preference. If you feel like this is how you want it to look, go ahead, start it. Just go ahead and stop it, and you can save it from here. But for me, I like it. I like mine usually around 25. So it gives you more of a fluent look, and it makes it more realistic, and you get it looks like it's actually happening. So let's go ahead and try that out, see if I got it right. And sometimes you have to, when you're filming, you have to make sure you do everything step by step. Try to make sure you don't miss any frames when you're actually filming. Excuse me, I'm sorry. You want to make sure you're not missing too many frames when you're actually filming. So we dropped it down to 25% speed. So let's go ahead and see what this does. And that's the way I like it. Now, once you have everything done the way you want it, and you feel that that's the way you want it, you want to come up here and you want to save it. So to save, you go to File, all the way down here to export. And this box gonna pull up and says media. You wanna hit media. Give it a little second. Sometimes it takes a while. So when this pops up, you wanna make sure you have the right settings. I tend to want to keep this at H.264. You want to make sure whatever you're saving it for is the correct format. For most of what you're going to save it to, you're going to want to put it at H.264, and that's going to get you the best format. I tend to leave mine at high bit rate. Sometimes when you send it, if you have to send it to an instructor, you might want to go in here and change it to low bit rate. That way it can send a lot faster. But if you're sending this to a client, you're going to want to leave it at high bit rate. Trust me, leave it at high bit rate. And then you want to come here, output name. It says MVI-5160 MP4. That's cool, but trying to find that is going to be ridiculous. So you want to come in here, find out where you want to save it. Like I said, I like keeping my things in the desktop. So I leave it at the desktop. And then you just want to go ahead and give it some kind of name. Like I said, we're going to call this Lego Blob. Just to make it simple. You hit save. And then you go over here. Make sure everything is correct and it's going to the correct place. If you want to use maximum render quality, you can. It all depends on preference and how clear you want this to be. But I think I have everything I need, so I can go ahead and hit export, and you go ahead and wait for it to finish. Once you have your video exported, you can go ahead and check it at this point in time. Make sure it's exactly what you want. So like I said, I saved mine to the desktop, so it's right here. I can find it real easy. Just go ahead and click it, and we can go ahead and watch our made video. Thank you for tuning in to TLG Network. My name is Ryan. Today we showed you how to make stop motion videos with Legos. Be sure to like and subscribe if you like that video, and tune in next time to when we show you more videos on how to do stuff. Bye now.